Okay. Hi, Amiko. Thank you for coming from way out Rancho Cordova to come help us do this, especially during your busy COVID time. You know what? I, I'm just going to ask you some questions, and then you could answer me as best you can. But I was thinking, I first met you in about 1975. I was thinking during Jankenpo.
Yeah, Joy was in Gakpo starting in 77.
Oh, 77. So you guys were after
Yeah.
me, but I don't know how I met you otherwise.
Were you at Parkview or
Well, we were in that first, we went for a couple of years. And then I felt like, gosh, people wanted to come. And so I said, we've experienced it for a couple of years. So then we didn't do it anymore. Yeah. Because that was in 75. She was 6 when we started. Yeah. So I must have met you
at
someplace else.
Gakpo, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you first become involved with ACC?
Well, I don't know how I met Donna Alfok or Joe Sakai, but I was a stay-at-home mom after I had children, and so I was volunteering at the elementary school, and I was already doing the lunch program at Methodist, and so they asked me, would I come and, receipt the donations and send acknowledgments to the people. So that's when I started. I think it was about 1983.
That was at the Tambara house?
Yeah.
And were you paid? Or were you a
Yeah, I
volunteer?
was paid.
You were paid. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought there was some pay involved. So they must have had some kind of a grant that they could pay you,
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't ask them any
No, no.
questions.
Well, I'm sure it was really high pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get the early history of ACC, and I know you've been around for a long, long time, but you think that it started around what was it?
When I think I started at about 83.
83.
Yeah.
And so that meant it had been in existence for about 11 years
Yeah.
because it got incorporated.
I heard Derek Lamb say the other year that, they started meeting about 1972.
Well, it got incorporated in 1972,
Oh,
but this other group called ACS, Asian Community Center,
yeah.
they had been meeting before and doing things before then. They were the ones that, do you remember Benvenuti? He had that miniature golf place. Oh gosh, I remember this fence and the slant eye and the bucktooth. That picture was on that wall,
Oh, yeah.
and my sister was one of them, and they went to boycott that. I didn't go. I had 3 children. I didn't think it was right for me to go around, boycotting and doing that kind of thing. Anyway, so how long did you work there at the Tambara house?
Well, till it burned down, and New Year's Eve, I think it was 1987.
See, I couldn't ever remember those times. Did they ever figure, was it arson or how did that fire
No,
start?
I thought they said it was an electrical, I think there was a washing machine or something that was rumbling, and then I guess maybe a spark fire. I really don't know.
Wow. And did you go help them clean up the mess after?
No, I don't remember, but then they took all the, what they could salvage to Donna Alfok's house, in the pocket area. And I think we worked out of her house till the nursing home was open.
Wow. And nursing home opened, when was that? It was 80 something, huh?
1986.
86? Okay. And we started bingo before that, huh? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think wasn't about 1983, Francis, was the manager, and I remember Donna and Joyce, they would
so
rush
hard.
over there to the bingo hall later in the day.
Yeah. Well, it's so weird because Francis had just come on the board. We were at that Tambara house, and that Tom Ross,
Oh, yeah,
Remember, he
yeah.
wanted to start that bingo. He came, and he said, "But we have to have somebody, that would run this thing." I couldn't believe it. Francis said, "I will."
Oh,
I
really?
said, "Wow," and that, I mean, over 20 years of doing that, right? Yeah. And then remember when she had to go on surgical leave and different things, you and George and Art and I were the ones that were supposed to help do all that. Yeah, really. Well, you know what? But I could never remember how to do the numbers so that, you're not doing the wrong. Art could figure it out. I never knew that. But I think Barbara and Joyce and Donna were able,
Yeah.
they knew all that in and out, and we just kind of helped be like managers, kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how long, then did you still help when they moved to the,
Yeah, when they moved to the nursing home, they were in the back, straight across from the dining room.
yeah,
And then that's where we worked out of, and Mickey was there. And then when Donna and Joyce left, and Barbara Fireball came on board, and then Barbara Sutton came on board. And,
you were there during all that too?
uh,
Wow. And when did you retire from that, doing all that?
well, I think, when Vic Okamoto had his stroke,
Yeah.
anyway, it was about that time, I think. I think they were going into computers, and I think that's when they hired
Donna?
Donna E.
And that's when you retired?
Well, I left. I don't know why I left, but that's when I left. Yeah,
Okay. But then you continued doing the Tanoshimikai?
yeah.
And how long? Well, you're still doing that, aren't you? I mean, now
No,
as
no, I retired, and I think it was like 2013. It was after, ACC took over the Meals on Wheels program.
oh, that's when you. But then the last time I went to Tanoshimikai at the Methodist Church, you were still.
Well,
Are you like the chair of it, or what are you doing?
I was volunteering. Elaine Maeda and Yvonne Kato was, the site manager.
And you were.
I was a volunteer.
Okay, okay. Oh my gosh, thank you for all those years. See, I've not been the grunt worker that's been there every day working those kind of things, and like Mickey and Francis.
Yeah.
My only claim to fame, I guess, was that I stayed on the board for years and years because we couldn't find anybody to replace us. So yeah, yeah. Did you ever think that ever when you first started? Did you ever think ACC would grow to be what it is today?
No, I'm surprised, with that little house on 6th Street and then the nursing home, and then Will Lee, worked on the first
Park
thing, that
City, yeah,
building over there,
yeah.
Park City.
And what do you think of it now?
Oh, it's gotten such a great organization. I think it's because of, all the volunteers and all, like Dewey was, started, I think at first they thought they needed some place for the East Stays to, you know, congregate or meet. Like they started a lunch program at the Buddhist church early on.
Yeah,
Because I remember when they opened up the nursing home, a lot of the residents, they were healthy and they were walking around and I there was one lady I remember was in a wheelchair, but then the others were just, with no canes or walkers.
yeah, yeah. Do you remember Star Miyagawa?
Oh yeah, he was at the office all the time, and then he gardened in the back of the nursing home with flowers and vegetables.
Yeah. I think that was kind of a happy time of his life, because, you know, his wife,
Yeah.
Karen, had that stroke, and he took care of her at home. I think she was like that for 17 or 18
Yeah,
years.
a long time.
And this Trang, she's a Vietnamese lady. She took care of Karen all those years, and then when Karen passed away, she helped us take care of my mom. Yeah. And since then, Trang took care of Sally Takeda
Yeah, yeah, that's
for a long time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a long history of all that. Well, Trang allowed Star, you know, at night he was with her, but during the day, you know, he was
yeah.
free to do the things that he enjoyed doing, so it was nice. Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that you could think of that? No?
Oh,
Yeah. Well, now you're really taking advantage of where ACC is now, because you said you tune into all those.
oh yeah, I watch all the productions, the videos, and Glenn Watanabe sends me an email whenever there's some program that, you know,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I look at their site and then the newsletter. There's one coming up Monday. Well, I think it's a continuation of the one they had with uh,
Oh, you mean this series?
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Is that Monday already?
yeah,
This coming Monday?
yeah,
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize it was that soon. I kept thinking it's that at the end of the month.
yeah. And then there's another one with name Otto and Hache.
Oh, June,
Yeah,
Otto and
Jun
Hutch.
Otto and Hache.
Yeah, that's going to
Yes,
come
yes,
at the
tomorrow. Yeah,
end of this is
isn't it
September, I
September?
think.
Yeah.
It'll be September. Yeah. Did you know Seichi Otto from up there in the?
No, I
Oh, you
did.
didn't know him?
No,
Okay.
I've heard of them. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm looking for these early minutes because I want to see, but I swear he used to drive down from, you know, where his
Yeah.
farm was up the
Yeah.
Eureka Road.
Yeah.
And when we first started, it was JCC, he used to come. That's why but nobody, well, people that remember things like that are gone, so I thought, did I just imagine that or what, you know? Yeah, yeah. So your history goes from about 1983 to 20,
Well, about 2000 when Donna E came aboard.
so it's almost 20 years. So isn't that good? Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well,
But I'm sure there's, you know, many other people that have more knowledge than, you know. I was just a, you know, employee, and I would hear, you know, discussions and
well, you know what? You're one of the few employees because most of them were just volunteers,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And they just came out of the walls and like Mickey, you know. I
Yeah.
call her the super volunteer because, you know, she did it every day like it was her job.
And then at the beginning, she was the treasurer for, you know, ACC,
That's
and
right.
so she would sign the check.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, we focused on you, but you did have a partner, George. Can you tell us about what?
Well, I think he first started with bingo. And then when he retired, he helped with the lunch program at Methodist.
Okay. He was kind of like art. You know, you
Well-
ask them to do something, they'll always
well,
be
you
available
know,
to help, huh?
He-
But
I don't know, we just went everywhere together.
I know that. I can't think of you without him. And yeah, that was really nice. And he passed away, is it
March of 2020.
2020? So it's already been a year. Yeah, it was a hard time for everybody, you know. And you weren't able to be with him when he passed away, were you?
No, it was during COVID, so we you know, they said one person can come in, but since I was old, they said you can't come in. And then Carol and Diane, I felt that, you know, I didn't want them to, you know, get sick, so we had to say our goodbyes over the phone.
But you were able to talk to him on the phone?
No.
No? Yeah.
So the last time we saw him was when he left on the ambulance to Sutter.
Wow. You have to be happy for him that he was functioning all
Yeah.
along, and then he had those 4 days away from all of you, but
Yeah.
he didn't have to go on and on,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, 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 I am too, yeah, yeah. And let's see, your daughter, Diane Diane and Dennis, they used to help at bingo too,
bingo,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what happens. You get all your family to all help, and pretty soon it's one big happy family. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, bingo time was a happy. You know, I met so many people through bingo, and then you know, it's been just great.
Well, you know, it's really odd because yesterday I had a call on my phone, and it was from Nadine Nakata. Do you remember her?
Oh yeah,
She
Nadine.
did bingo. So I thought, well, why is she? I haven't talked to her in years, and I thought, why is she calling me? She says, oh, it was one of those butt calls. And then I said, but I've seen you lately. She helps at the, she volunteers at the Methodist Church Tanashimikai. Did you know that?
Oh really?
Yeah, I've seen her there. And so she asked me about, you know, what was going to happen with that. I said, gee, I don't know what, but we'll let you know when it's so. But you know how your paths keep
Yeah.
crossing. It's odd, huh? All the people we've met in bingo. Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for, you know.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, no, no. Gosh. Well, you know how you think that it's just, you're just a small cog in all this, but it's interesting. Now that I've gone, I hear all these different interesting stories, and then I think, oh, I should have asked this, I should have asked that. They're all kind of, they go off, you know, from this main road, and then you find all these other things, so it's interesting. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.